The galaxy was at war again, but for the people of the royal house of Elindra, the battles were fought in silence. The enemy ships were far away, yet their shadows seemed to darken every corridor of the palace. In the highest tower, a young princess sat alone, her hands folded on her lap, her head tilted slightly as if listening to voices no one else could hear. She had been blind since birth, and her body carried the frailty of a life often shielded from the world. The court whispered that she was unfit to rule, unfit to bond, and unfit to even be seen in public. Her name was Serenia, and though her eyes could not see the stars, her heart longed for them. She had been promised to many suitors over the years, warriors, diplomats, and noble heirs, but each one had found a reason to refuse her. Some said her blindness was a curse, others claimed she would be a burden. Now with the war raging and alliances breaking apart, her name was no longer even mentioned in council meetings. She was invisible to her own people, on the other side of the galaxy. Aboard a small, aging human freighter, Captain Aaron Vale read the latest war report. Humans were new to this part of space, and the war between the Elindran Empire and their enemies, the Cathar Dominion, had nothing to do with Earth, but Aaron had a habit of involving himself in things others avoided. The Elindran distress call he intercepted wasn't meant for him, it was meant for someone important. Still, something about the voice in the message, calm yet desperate, pulled him in. The message spoke of a royal daughter trapped in a palace that was slowly being abandoned by its own defenders. It wasn't an official request for rescue. It wasn't even clear if she wanted to be rescued. But Aaron had seen enough wars to know what happened to those left behind. His crew thought he was insane for even thinking about it. Helping a blind alien princess in the middle of a political crisis wasn't just dangerous. It was the kind of thing that could get an entire human colony banned from Elindran space. Back in the palace, Serenia sat in her private chamber, listening to the slow hum of the palace generators. She could tell from the air that the guards had thinned. The servants' voices were lower, quicker, as if they didn't want to be noticed. She could smell fear in the corridors, sharp and bitter, like the scent of burnt metal. She knew something was coming. She didn't know when, but the quiet between footsteps told her it would be soon. Aaron's ship slipped through the edge of Elindran space, under the cover of asteroid shadows. His plan wasn't clear, even to himself. He only knew that if the reports were true, the Elindran royal family had already retreated to safer worlds. That meant the princess was alone, perhaps guarded by only a handful of loyalists. He didn't know why she had been left behind. He didn't know if she was even still alive. But he was going to find out, when Aaron finally landed in the abandoned gardens outside the palace walls. The silence was unsettling. No patrols, no drones, just the wind moving through the alien trees. He carried no heavy weaponry, only a compact blaster and a translator module clipped to his ear. He didn't want to come in as a soldier. He wanted to come in as someone she could trust. Inside the palace, Serenia turned her head slightly toward the sound of distant footsteps. They were heavier than Elindran guards, slower, more deliberate. Not the hurried steps of someone fleeing, but the steady approach of someone with purpose. She rose from her chair, her fingers brushing the carved stone armrest as she steadied herself. She felt a strange warmth in her chest, fear, yes, but also something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Aaron entered the chamber and froze. The princess was not what he expected. She stood tall despite her frail frame, her long silver hair falling over a gown that shimmered like liquid starlight. Her eyes were pale, almost white, but they held a quiet strength. She faced him without hesitation, though it was clear she could not see him. "You are not Elindran," she said, her voice calm but edged with curiosity. "No," Aaron replied. "I'm human. I came because no one else would." For a moment, the room was silent except for the faint hum of the palace power core. Then, slowly, Serenia smiled, not a smile of joy, but one of recognition. "I have been alone for a very long time," she said, "and humans, they have a history of doing the impossible." Aaron stepped closer, aware that with every moment he stayed, the risk grew. If the Alindran High Council found him here, he could be arrested or worse. But looking at her, he knew he couldn't walk away. Outside, the wind shifted. The sound of engines in the distance broke the quiet. Serenia tilted her head, her expression tightening. "They're coming," she whispered. Aaron glanced toward the doorway, his instincts screaming at him to move. But his decision was already made. He wasn't leaving her here, not to the enemy, and not to a fate decided by those who had abandoned her. And so, in the middle of a war that wasn't his, on a world that wasn't his home, a human captain made a choice that would shake the galaxy. Aaron moved quickly through the palace halls, guiding Serenia by the arm. Her steps were steady, but he could feel the coldness in her hands. She didn't stumble or hesitate, instead walking as if she could sense every pillar, wall, and doorway without sight. It made him wonder just how much she had learned to survive. Alone here, they passed broken statues and shattered crystal lanterns. The palace had once been a place of beauty, but now it looked abandoned and stripped of its pride. In the distance, the low roar of engines grew louder. Aaron knew they didn't have much time before the landing craft arrived. "Where's the safest way out?" he asked. "There is no safe way out," Serenia replied softly. "But there is a way they will not expect." She led him to a hidden corridor behind a tapestry. The air was cooler here, the light dimmer. Aaron noticed the walls were lined with old storage crates, some marked with a royal seal. "You've planned this before?" he asked. "No," she said. "I just know the paths the cowards forgot." Her voice was calm, but Aaron could feel the sharp truth in her words. Whoever had abandoned her here had left her to die, and she had known it. Yet she had waited not out of fear, but because she knew running without purpose was the same as surrender. They reached a narrow maintenance tunnel. Aaron crouched low to pass through. Serenia moved without hesitation, ducking under pipes and stepping over exposed cables. The sound of the engines outside was now joined by the clatter of metal boots on stone. "They're inside," Aaron murmured. "I know," she said. "Their leader will come for me first. He thinks taking me will make the Alindrans surrender." "Faster." Aaron stopped for a moment, studying her face. "And will it?" "No," she said, her pale eyes steady. "It will make them think they were right to leave me behind." The words cut through him. He realized then this wasn't just about saving her life, it was about defying the judgment of her entire people. They exited into the palace gardens through a hidden maintenance hatch. The alien plants glowed faintly in the twilight, casting pools of blue and green light over the stone paths. Aaron could hear the soldiers moving through the palace behind them. "We can make it to my ship if we stay low," he said. "Your ship?" she asked. "You mean to take me away?" "Yes, if we stay, they'll capture you. And if they capture you, I don't think they'll keep you alive for long." Serenia stood still for a moment, her head tilted as if listening to something far away. "I can hear them spreading through the gardens already," she said. "They're faster than you think." Aaron grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the outer wall. The path wound between tall glowing trees, their roots twisting over the stone like living chains. The faint hum of his ship's engines in standby mode was somewhere beyond them. Suddenly, a voice rang out from behind. "Stop!" Aaron turned. A group of Cathar soldiers stepped out from the shadows, their armor black and ridged, their helmets shaped like snarling beasts. The one in front removed his helmet, revealing sharp, pale features and eyes that glowed faintly red. "You're a long way from your world, human," the soldier said. "Leave the princess and walk away. We might even let you live." Aaron's grip tightened on his blaster. "Not going to happen." The soldier smiled coldly. Do you even know what she is? She's a bargaining chip no one wants. That's why they left her here. She is nothing. Aaron saw Serenia's jaw tighten, but she said nothing. He stepped forward, placing himself between her and the soldiers. She's worth more than your whole damn army, he said. That the soldier's smile vanished. He raised his weapon. In the same instant, Aaron fired. The shot hit the soldier's chest plate, knocking him back, but not dropping him. The other soldiers opened fire, and Aaron dragged Serenia toward the trees. Bolts of energy lit the garden. With bursts of white and gold, leaves burned and fell in glowing embers. Aaron weaved between the trunks, keeping Serenia close. She moved with surprising speed, never slowing even when the ground turned uneven. They reached the wall. Aaron tapped his wrist. Come, Vera, now. A low rumble shook the ground as his ship's engines roared to life. A hidden hatch in the wall opened, revealing a narrow passage to the landing pad. Aaron pushed Serenia ahead, covering their retreat. With quick bursts from his blaster, they boarded the ship just as the Cathar soldiers reached the wall. Aaron slammed the hatch shut and ran to the cockpit. The ship lifted off, engines straining as he pushed them to maximum. Below, the soldiers fired wildly, their shots fading into the night as the freighter broke through the upper atmosphere. In the co-pilot seat, Serenia sat calmly, her hands resting in her lap. You risked your life for someone you just met, she said. Aaron glanced at her. I've done worse things for people who mattered less. A small smile touched her lips. Then perhaps, she said quietly, I was not left behind after all. The stars stretched endlessly outside the cockpit windows, a silver sea against the black. Aaron's freighter, Vanguard's Hope, cruised through the quiet between systems, its engines running low to avoid detection. In the pilot's seat, Aaron kept his hands steady on the controls, but his mind was busy calculating every possible route out of Alindran space. Behind him, Serenia sat quietly in the passenger cabin. She hadn't asked where they were going or what came next. Instead, she seemed to be listening, her head tilted slightly toward the hum of the engines, her fingers tracing the edges of the seat, as if she could feel the shape of the ship. Aaron glanced over his shoulder. You've been silent for a long time, he said. I'm thinking, she replied softly. And listening. Your ship has a gentle sound. I can tell it's well cared for. He smiled faintly. She's an old freighter, but she's kept me alive more than once. Serenia's lips curved slightly, but the smile didn't last. The Cathar will follow us, she said. They won't stop until they have me. Aaron leaned back in his seat. They'll have to catch us first. Her voice was calm, but her words carried weight. It's not just them. My own people will send ships too. To them, I am a reminder of weakness. They cannot allow me to appear in public, especially with a human. Aaron's jaw tightened. So you're saying everyone's going to want us dead? Yes, she said without hesitation. In the galley, the ship's an old model called Vera spoke through the intercom. Captain, long-range scans show 2 vessels on an intercept course. Estimated contact in 30 minutes. Aaron cursed under his breath. Let me guess, they're not here to say hello. Negative, Vera replied. Their weapons are charged. He turned to Serenia. Are they Alindran or Cathar? She tilted her head slightly, as if she could hear something through the hull. Cathar, she said. But one of the ships feels different, faster, more precise. Aaron frowned. Feels? I can't see, Captain, she said, but I can sense movement in the void. The rhythm of the engines, the pulse of the shields. The faster ship is not Cathar, it's Alindran. That made no sense. Why would an Alindran ship be traveling with the enemy? Serenia's face was unreadable. Because the Cathar are not my only enemies. Aaron pulled the ship into a sharp course change. The stars outside blurred into streaks as the Vanguard's Hope accelerated. He plotted a jump toward an uninhabited system, hoping the pursuers would lose interest. But deep down, he knew they wouldn't. The hum of the engines grew louder. Serenia gripped the armrest, her head turning toward him. If they catch us, they will not kill me quickly. They will take me back, parade me before my people, and tell them that a human dared to claim me. Erin's eyes stayed fixed on the controls. And you? Her voice was steady. They will make me confess that I am unworthy of even your pity. He didn't answer. Instead, he adjusted the course to weave through a dense asteroid belt. The ship rattled as fragments of rock grazed the shields. Outside, bursts of blue light lit the void. The Cathar were firing. Vera's voice was calm, but urgent. Shields. At 60%. Hull damage minimal. Recommending evasive maneuvers. Erin's hands moved quickly over the controls. Already on it. The freighter dove between two massive asteroids, their dark surfaces glowing faintly in the reflected starlight. The enemy ship split to flank them. Serenia spoke suddenly. The Alindran ship is closing faster. It will cut us off in 40 seconds. Erin checked the readout. She was right. Somehow, without seeing the instruments, she knew. I need you to trust me, he said. I already do, she replied. Erin grinned. Good, then hold on. He yanked the controls, sending the ship spinning into a narrow gap between colliding asteroids. Chunks of rock scraped the hull, sparks flashing outside the viewport. Behind them, one of the Cathar ships miscalculated and slammed into an asteroid, exploding in a burst of orange light. The Alindran ship didn't hesitate, it followed. Vera's voice came again. Captain, incoming transmission from the Alindran. Vessel, priority signal. Erin glanced at Serenia. Should I answer? Her pale eyes seemed to stare straight into him. Yes, she said, but be ready for betrayal. He tapped the COM switch. The screen flickered to life, revealing a tall Alindran man in dark armor, his golden insignia marking him as high military command. His expression was cold, his voice even colder. Captain Erin Vale, the man said. You have something that belongs to the Alindran Empire. Hand her over, and you may leave with your life. Erin leaned back in his seat. Not happening. The man's eyes narrowed. Then you will share her fate. Before Erin could reply, Serenia stepped forward, her voice calm but cutting. General Rillan. I see the war has not taken your arrogance. The general's face changed, just slightly. Serenia, you should never have left your tower. I didn't, she said. The galaxy came to me. The transmission cut abruptly. Erin tightened his grip on the controls. I'm guessing that's bad news. Serenia's voice was quiet, but certain. It means they will fight harder. Now and they will not stop. The Vanguard's hope trembled as another volley struck the shields. Erin's hands moved fast over the controls, pulling the freighter into a steep dive to avoid the incoming fire. The asteroid field thinned ahead, opening into the cold, empty stretch of deep space. But that also meant no cover. Vera's voice came through the cockpit speakers. Shields at 40%. Hull breach risk and sustained engagement. Erin gritted his teeth, noted. Serenia stood near his seat, her fingers lightly resting on the back of the chair. Her face was calm, but there was tension in the way she stood, as if she could feel every tremor in the ship's frame. They will try to cripple us, not destroy us, she said. They want me alive. Erin glanced at her. Then they'll be disappointed. Her lips curved faintly. Humans do have a strange way of disappointing their enemies. The Alindran warship loomed larger on the scanners. Sleek and deadly, it moved with precision, cutting off escape routes before Erin could take them. The remaining Cathar vessel hung back, circling like a predator waiting for the kill. Erin opened a private channel to Vera. Options? 3, the AI replied. 1. Surrender and likely die. 2. Engage in direct combat, which will almost certainly result in destruction. 3. Attempt a blind jump into uncharted space. Blind jump? Aaron asked. Yes, risk level, unacceptable. Success probability, less than 5%. Serenia spoke quietly, though she clearly couldn't hear the IS words. You're thinking of doing something dangerous. Aaron shot her a quick grin. You're starting to know me too well. She tilted her head toward the viewport. Do it. Whatever it is, do it now. He didn't argue. His fingers danced across the console, overriding Vera's safety protocols. The nav computer protested with a sharp tone, warning of unpredictable coordinates, but Aaron ignored it. The Alindran ship closed in, its forward cannons charging. The Cathar vessel moved into flanking position. Aaron slammed his hand on the jump control. The Vanguard's hope lurched violently as space itself seemed to tear open ahead of them. The stars warped into streaks, then into nothingness. A moment. There was silence, only the sound of the engines straining against the unknown. Then, with a hard jolt, the ship emerged into a region of space unlike anything Aaron had seen. The void was dark, but scattered with strange glowing clouds that shimmered with colors he couldn't name. Massive, shadowed shapes moved slowly in the distance, too large to be asteroids, too strange to be ships. Serenia turned her head slightly, her expression unreadable. I know this place. Aaron frowned. You've been here before? No, she said softly, but I have heard of it, the Veil of Ashara. It is forbidden space. My people believe it swallows entire fleets. Aaron leaned back in his chair. Sounds like the perfect place to hide, Vera's voice interrupted. Captain. Warning, the gravitational fields here are unstable. I am detecting anomalies that do not match any known records. Aaron's eyes scanned the readings. We'll manage. Serenia moved closer to the viewport. The Alindran will not follow us here. Nor will the Cathar. They fear what lies within the veil. That's good, Aaron said. It is not only good, she replied quietly. It is also dangerous. Because whatever lives here is not afraid of us. The ship's sensors crackled with interference. Strange energy patterns rippled across the displays. Aaron adjusted the course, steering toward a pocket of clearer space between the glowing clouds. Then Vera's voice came again, lower this time. Captain, we are being scanned, Aaron stiffened. By who? Unknown. The signal is unlike any Alindran or Cathar technology. Serenia's face turned toward him. We should not have come here, she said, her voice calm but certain. The veil is not empty. It is watching us. Before Aaron could respond, a massive shadow emerged from the mist ahead, its shape shifting and rippling like it was made of liquid metal. Lights pulsed deep within its body, and a low, resonating hum filled the ship's hull. Aaron's hands tightened on the controls. What in the hell is that? Serenia spoke without looking away. A choice, she said softly. One that will decide if we live, or if the galaxy learns what you have done. Asterisk, the shadow before them shifted, stretching until it blocked the view of the glowing clouds. Its surface rippled like dark water, reflecting fragments of starlight. Then, without moving closer, it spoke. The voice did not come through the speakers. It echoed inside Aaron's skull, deep and resonant, like the memory of thunder. You do not belong here. Aaron flinched and gripped the controls. Vera, where's that coming from? Everywhere, the eye replied quietly. I cannot locate a source. Serenia stood perfectly still, her pale eyes fixed on the shifting mass outside. It is not speaking to the ship. It is speaking to us. The voice came again. One carries the mark of Alindra. The other carries the weight of a different sun. Both trespass. Aaron glanced at Serenia. Care to explain what it means by mark? She didn't answer right away. My people believe the Veil is a graveyard of ancient guardians, she said. Entities that swore never to let certain Bloodlines leave or return. That would have been nice to know before we jumped in, Aaron muttered. The shadow moved again, and from its surface emerged shapes slender, spear-like constructs that glided toward the ship without touching it. Each one glowed faintly, their light shifting from silver to deep crimson. Vera's voice tightened. Captain, these readings. They are scanning not only the ship but you and the princess directly. The voice returned, louder now. One has been abandoned by her own kind. One has taken her without permission. Explain. Aaron stood, stepping closer to the viewport as if the entity could see him. She was left to die. I wasn't about to let that happen. There was a long silence, then a low, rumbling sound that might have been laughter or warning. And for this, you risk your life, your vessel, and the wrath of 2 empires? Aaron's tone sharpened. If you have a problem with that, you'll have to stop me. Beside him, Serenia finally spoke, her voice calm but carrying an authority Aaron hadn't heard before. Guardian of the Veil, I am Serenia of Alindra. I did not come here to challenge you. I came because it was the only place my enemies would not follow. The shadow seemed to still, its surface smoothing into a mirror-like sheen. You speak with truth, but you carry the scent of war. This place has no use for war. Aaron's eyes flicked to the sensors. Whatever it's doing, it's powering up something big. Serenia stepped forward, placing her hand lightly on the console. Then let it hear something it has not heard in centuries, she said quietly. A promise. Aaron hesitated. What kind of promise? She turned her head toward him. That I will not bring destruction here. If it will, give us safe passage. For a moment, the hum within the ship grew louder, vibrating through the deck. Then the shadow began to recede, the spear-like constructs folding back into its form. The voice came again, softer this time. Your bond is unusual, perhaps dangerous, but not without worth. Leave this place before the veil changes its. Aaron exhaled slowly. I think that's our cue to go. The shadow shifted aside, opening a path through the shimmering clouds. Beyond them, space cleared into a narrow corridor of light stable enough for a jump. Aaron returned to the pilot's seat, powering up the drive. Next stop, somewhere that doesn't want to kill us. As the Vanguard's Hope moved forward, Serenia remained standing, her expression unreadable. The Guardian let us pass, she said, but it also marked us. Others may see us differently now. Aaron glanced at her. Differently how? She faced the viewport. Some will think you are my captor. Others will think you are my champion. Both will come for you. He smirked faintly. Let them try. The ship slipped through the last veil of clouds and emerged into open space once more. But before Aaron could plot their next course, Vera's voice broke the quiet. Captain, incoming signal. Multiple vessels. Ilindran and Cathar signatures detected. They've found us. Aaron's hands tightened on the controls. Guess the finale's coming early. Serenia's voice was calm, but there was a quiet steel in it now. Then let us show them what happens when 2 empires underestimate a human. And a princess they left behind. Asterisk, the open space beyond the veil glittered with the cold light of distant stars, but the peace lasted only seconds. 3 ships appeared on the sensors, 2 Ilindran war cruisers and 1 Cathar destroyer. They came in fast, weapons armed, forming a loose triangle to box the Vanguard's Hope in. Aaron adjusted the controls, eyes scanning for a way out. Vera, give me everything we've got on shield output. 43% and falling. If we take direct hits, the AI replied. Serenia stood beside him, her pale eyes fixed on nothing, but her head tilted toward the distant hum of the approaching ships. They're not here for negotiation. They want a display. Aaron glanced at her. Of what? Her voice was steady. Of my capture. Or my death. The lead Ilindran cruiser hailed them. The cum screen lit up with the cold face of General Rillan. His voice carried the arrogance of someone used to winning without fighting. "Captain Vale," he said, "the veil will not protect you now. Surrender the princess, and I will consider sparing your life." Aaron smirked faintly. "You keep offering, and I keep saying no. You'd think you'd get tired of it." Ryland's eyes shifted to Serenia. "You shame your people by standing with him. You were meant to be hidden away, not paraded in front of the galaxy as some human's pet." Serenia stepped forward until her face filled the screen. Her voice was soft, but each word struck. "Like steel, you call it shame, I call it truth. You left me to die, General. And now, standing beside a human, I am more alive than I ever was in your tower." The Cathar commander's voice joined the channel, deep and growling. "Enough words. Give her to us, human, and you can keep your life and your ship." Aaron shook his head. "You both talk like you own her." "Newsflash, you don't," the Cathar commander snarled. "Then you will die with her." The ships moved in, their weapons charging. Aaron's fingers hovered over the controls, ready to dodge, but Serenia placed her hand on his arm. "Wait," she said. "Let me speak to them all." He hesitated, but gave a small nod. Serenia turned toward the cum, her pale eyes unblinking. "To the Alindrans who call me weak, and to the Cathar who think I am a prize, hear me now. I am no one's possession. I am Serenia of Alindra, and I will decide my own fate. If you want me, you will have to take me. But know this." She gestured toward Aaron. "You will face a human who does not know how to surrender." There was a silence across the channel. Then the Cathar opened fire. Aaron threw the Vanguard's Hope into a tight spin, diving between the incoming bolts. The Alindrans fired next, their beams slicing past the hull. Vera announced damage reports as the shields dropped to 20%. Aaron's hands moved fast over the controls. "We can't take both sides at once," he muttered. Serenia's voice was calm. "Then make them fight each other." He shot her a quick look, then a slow grin spread across his face. "I like the way you think." Aaron steered the ship directly between the Alindran cruiser and the Cathar destroyer, weaving just enough to make the two factions fire cross paths. The Cathar misinterpreted a blast from the Alindrans as an attack and returned fire. Within seconds, the two sides were firing on each other instead of him. In the chaos, Aaron pushed the ship's engines to maximum, breaking free of the trap. Behind them, the cruisers exchanged heavy blows, their weapons lighting up the void. Vera's voice came steady now. "We are clear of pursuit range. Shields at 15%. Hull stable." Aaron leaned back, breathing hard. "That worked better than I expected." Serenia sat quietly for a moment, then spoke. "You've made enemies today, Captain Vale." He glanced at her. "Yeah, but we've also made history." Her lips curved into the faintest smile. "Perhaps, and maybe, we've also made a beginning." Aaron didn't ask what she meant. He didn't need to. Out here, far from any throne or war council, she was no longer just a princess. And he was no longer just a human captain. They were something else entirely, two people who had stood against the galaxy and walked away together. The Vanguard's Hope slipped into the quiet dark of deep space, its course unknown, but its path entirely their own.